Safety Act Management Systems, Comprehensive Guide to Element 5. Welcome to Phani EHS Info. In this video, we'll focus on Element 5, Health and Safety Management Systems Act. Element 5 is all about ensuring that health and safety management systems evolve and improve over time. We'll provide an overview of this element and highlight key exam questions to help you prepare effectively for NEBOSH IGC Paper 1. Reviewing performance. Let's start with reviewing performance. Regular reviews of health and safety performance are crucial for identifying trends and areas that need improvement. By systematically evaluating how well safety measures are working, you can pinpoint issues and develop strategies to address them effectively. Continuous improvement. Next, we discuss continuous improvement. Implementing a cycle of continuous improvement involves regularly updating and refining health and safety practices based on feedback from audits and reviews. This ongoing process helps to enhance safety measures and adapt to any changes or new challenges. Management review. Finally, let's talk about management review. It's essential for senior management to be involved in the review process. Ensuring that health and safety remain a priority at the highest levels of the organization helps to reinforce the importance of safety and drives continuous improvement across all levels. Next, we'll review important questions from this element that you need to know for NEBOSH IGC Paper 1. List 6 proactive, active, monitoring methods. Safety audits. Safety inspections. Safety survey. Safety tour. Safety sampling. Benchmarking. Hazard and operability studies. Health surveillance. Performance reviews. Risk assessments. List 4 reactive monitoring methods: accident investigation and reviews, insurance claims reviews, defect reports, enforcement action follow-up, legal and enforcement actions. Explain the difference between proactive and reactive monitoring and give an example of each. Proactive monitoring, which monitors the achievement of plans and the degree of compliance with standards before an incident on ill health. Reactive monitoring monitors after accidents, ill health and incidents. Examples for proactive monitoring. Performance reviews. Review of training assessments, records and needs. Workplace inspections. Safety survey. Examples for reactive monitoring. Accident incidence rates. Accident investigation reports. Accident frequency rates. Accident severity rates. Sickness and absence records. Identify 6 reactive measures that can be used to monitor an organization's health and safety performance. The reactive measures that can be used to monitor an organization's health and safety performance include the number of reported accidents and the frequency, incidence and severity rates. Sickness absence rates, particularly those relating to occupational ill health. Incidence of reported near misses and dangerous occurrences. Property damage. The number of actions such as the issue of notices, prosecutions and the serving of verbal or written warnings taken by the enforcement authorities. The number of civil claims. Records of absenteeism and staff turnover. The number of complaints from employees or neighbors and the costs involved in all the above. Outline 4 active monitoring methods that can be used when assessing health and safety. Active, proactive, monitoring is intended to reveal hazards that are not controlled to a standard, and to reveal visible non-compliance with standards, and it relies heavily on visible evidence only. When assessing health and safety in the workplace, proactive, active, monitoring can be achieved using various methods. These methods include documented workplace inspections, which are conducted on a regular basis to spot immediate hazards, unsafe acts and conditions and ensure action is taken for remedial measure as soon as possible. Risk assessments is a major active monitoring tool as this systematic method highlights hazards and risks and eliminates of or reduce them to as low as is reasonably practicable. Alarm auditing is also a valuable monitoring tool as this method examines the health and safety management systems and outlines areas for improvement. Reporting near misses incidents is very important as this can lead to prevention of major accident in the future. Outline the role of workplace health and safety inspections. A workplace inspection is a general examination of health and safety performance at a particular point in time. As well as demonstrating management commitment, its role is to identify workplace hazards, implement immediate corrective action where this is possible, ensure compliance with the law and with laid down standards, recommend improvements and further controls when these are seen to be necessary, observe employee behavior, for example, in the use of personal protective equipment. Listen to and consult with workers on health and safety issues. Review previous findings and recommendations and provide a summary report to individual managers on standards in their areas of control. Give 2 examples of strengths of using a checklist when carrying out an inspection. Using a checklist to complete a health and safety inspection of a workplace enables prior preparation and planning to be made so that the inspection is structured and systematic. Reduces the chance that important areas or issues might be missed. Provides an immediate record of findings, ensures a consistent approach by those carrying out the inspection. Is easily adapted or customized for different areas and provides an easy method for comparison and audit. Weaknesses of using a checklist when carrying out an inspection. The weaknesses of using such a system are that over-reliance on a checklist may lead to a blinkered approach by inspectors with the possibility that significant risks might be missed. That the checklist may not be reviewed and updated to account for changes to work processes or equipment. That there is a danger that inspections become routine with no follow-up questions being asked. That the system is too objective and restrictive with no scope for peripheral issues to be considered. That untrained persons might be tempted to conduct inspections and that the procedure is subject to human error and or abuse. Identify 2 types of health and safety inspection. Pre-use checks, for example, of portable appliances or ladders. General periodic workplace inspections. Statutory inspections. Those associated with planned preventative maintenance. Safety tours. Safety sampling. Inspections carried out by members of the enforcement authority. Outline the skills and knowledge that are required of an employee who conducts health and safety inspections. There are a range of qualities expected of an employee who carries out health and safety inspections, including relevant knowledge. The knowledge he/she should possess, such as a general knowledge of health and safety together with the legal requirements and any published guidance. Knowledge of the workplace and the work activities carried out with the procedures that have been introduced, such as safe systems of work and the use of permits to work. Knowledge as to whom he/she should report the results of the inspections. Relevant skills. The ability to identify hazards and risks and to detect deficiencies in the control measures provided. Observational skills together with the ability to record and report observations. Interpersonal skills including the ability to interview and question fellow employees. The ability to recognize his/her own limitations. Identify the significant areas that should be considered during a planned health and safety inspection of a workplace. Any substances or materials used in the area being inspected. Traffic routes in and around the inspection area. Means of access to and egress from the area of inspection. Work equipment and work processes used in the area being inspected. The work practices such as manual handling, ergonomics, etc. that are employed within the work area. Work environment itself, to include space, lighting, heating, air movement, ventilation, etc. Electricity and electrical sources as well as other power sources present. Fire precautions required within the workplace. First aid facilities provided with regard to the risks posed by work operations and/or situations. Welfare facilities to include washing, changing, resting and toilet facilities as appropriate. Workstation ergonomics matched to the worker and the tasks that they perform. The standards of housekeeping being achieved against what is required. Any outstanding actions points from previous inspections. Outline the role of workplace health and safety inspections. Safety inspections, which are a general examination of health and safety performance at a particular point in time, may be used to improve health and safety performance within an organization in a number of ways, including identifying hazards and assessing controls enabling the appropriate remedial action to be taken before accidents have occurred. Showing management's commitment to health and safety and improving the morale of the workforce, enabling the involvement of workers in the management of health and safety and if carried out on a regular basis, identifying trends and weaknesses in existing procedures. Ensuring adherence to legal requirements and standards. Reviewing previous findings and recommendations and providing a summary report to individual managers of standards in their area of responsibility. Be sure you read the question. Here the word role is important. Outline the main features of a health and safety inspection of a workplace and health and safety audit. A workplace inspection is a general examination of health and safety performance at a particular point in time. As well as demonstrating management commitment, its role is to identify workplace hazards. Implement immediate corrective action where this is possible. Ensure compliance with the law and with laid down standards. Recommend improvements and further controls when these are seen to be necessary. Observe employee behavior, for example, in the use of personal protective equipment. Listen to and consult with workers on health and safety issues. Review previous findings and recommendations and provide a summary report to individual managers on standards in their areas of control. A health and safety audit is a systematic critical examination of a health and safety management system involving a structured process for the collection of independent information with the aim of assessing the effectiveness and reliability of the system and suggesting corrective action when this was thought to be necessary. Give the meaning of the term health and safety audit. The meaning of the term health and safety audit is a systematic critical examination of a health and safety management system involving a structured process for the collection of independent information with the aim of assessing the effectiveness and reliability of the system and suggesting corrective action when this was thought to be necessary. Outline key areas that may be covered within a health and safety audit. Key areas that may be covered by a health and safety audit include the health and safety policy, the allocation of roles and responsibilities, the completion of risk assessments, The control of specific hazards, such as those connected with display screen equipment, manual handling and working at heights. Fire protection and prevention. Arrangements for the control of contractors. Records of employee competence and training. First aid and emergency procedures. Procedures for the reporting and investigation of accidents. Arrangements for consultation with employees. Minutes of safety committee meetings. Explain how the findings of a health and safety audit can be used to improve health and safety performance. The findings of a health and safety audit may be used for improving health and safety performance by identifying areas of compliance and non-compliance and the reasons for and nature of the non-compliance. Identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the existing system, enabling comparison and benchmarking with other similar organizations and communicating the findings to management and staff. Informing and enabling remedial actions to be taken, emphasizing the need for proactive rather than reactive measures. Aiding prioritization and the allocation of resources, producing evidence of commitment by the organization in putting health and safety on the agenda and encouraging continual improvement. Explain how the findings of a health and safety audit can be used to improve health and safety performance. The findings of a health and safety audit may be used for improving health and safety performance by identifying areas of compliance and non-compliance and the reasons for and nature of the non-compliance. Identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the existing system, enabling comparison and benchmarking with other similar organizations and communicating the findings to management and staff. Informing and enabling remedial actions to be taken, emphasizing the need for proactive rather than reactive measures. Aiding prioritization and the allocation of resources, producing evidence of commitment by the organization in putting health and safety on the agenda and encouraging continual improvement. Describe the advantages and disadvantages of carrying out a health and safety audit of an organization's activities by an internal auditor. The possible advantages of using an internal audit or for a safety audit of an organization would include familiarity with the workplace, its tasks and processes, an awareness of what might be practicable for the industry, the ability to see improvements or a deterioration from the last audit, familiarity with the workforce and an individual's qualities and attitude, an audit which was relatively less costly and easier to arrange. Possible disadvantages being an internal audit or may not be in possession of recognized auditing skills, may not be up to date with legal requirements, be less likely to be aware of best practice in other organizations. They may be subject to pressure from management and the workforce scene. Have time constraints imposed upon them. Describe the advantages and disadvantages of carrying out a health and safety audit of an organization's activities by an external auditor. Advantages with an external auditor is more likely to possess the necessary auditing skills and credibility, will not be inhibited from criticizing members of management or the workforce, is more likely to be up to date with legal requirements and best practice in other companies, will view the organization as performance with a fresh pair of eyes. Disadvantaged are: they are unlikely to be familiar with the workplace, tasks and processes, will not be familiar with the workforce and their individual attitudes to health and safety, will have difficulty in obtaining the full cooperation of the workforce, may be unfamiliar with the industry and seek unrealistic standards and may well be more costly than an internal member of staff. Outline the issues that need to be considered at the planning stage of an audit. The issues that need to be considered at the planning stage of an audit include the selection of a competent audit team independent of the area to be audited, agreeing the objectives and scope of the audit, developing audit questionnaires and checklists and agreeing on relevant guidance and standards that would be applied, allocating resources and facilities, agreeing timescales and deciding on methods of feedback. Identify two methods of gathering information during an audit. Methods of gathering information during an audit include interviewing, reviewing and assessing written procedures, and workplace observations to assess compliance with relevant health and safety standards and guidance. Identify documents that may be examined when reviewing an organization's health and safety management system. The documents that may be examined reviewed during a management system review audit include safety policy, risk assessments, risk assessment procedures, safety monitoring procedures, maintenance records, accident and incident reports, health surveillance records, health and safety committee meeting minutes, training records, statutory inspection records and reports outcomes, previous audit reports. Outline the topics that should be included in a health and safety audit. The topics for inclusion in a health and safety audit will include a document review, interviews and actual observations on any or all of the following: the organization's health and safety policy, awareness of risk assessment procedures and compliance, awareness of safety monitoring procedures and compliance, the adequacy of maintenance arrangements and associated records, the gathering, analyzing and dissemination of accident, incident and ill health data, a review of health surveillance records and procedures for gathering the same, the extent of legal compliance within the organization's operations, a review of the Health and Safety Committee minutes, the quality, range and content of training records, the results of statutory thorough inspections, a review of previous audit reports to ensure no recurrences and the addressing of previously identified non-conformances. Outline the benefits of conducting an accident investigation. There are a range of benefits that result from investigating accidents, including the prevention of similar situations, complying with legal requirements, complying with insurance requirements, improving workplace safety standards, improving employee morale, preventing future business losses, the provision of information to assist in legal proceedings, evidence to support a defense in enforcement action or where is civil claim is being sought. List the information that should be included in an accident investigation report: date, time, location, injured persons, witnesses, injuries, losses sustained, equipment, tools involved, costs estimated known, who investigated, date investigated, introduction, summary, main body observations, legal breaches, likely enforcement action, recommendation, conclusions, circulation list, any immediate actions taken to make safe the area, estimated costs, identification of the causes, immediate, underlying and root. Give the meaning of the term immediate causes. The term immediate cause is the unsafe act or condition that resulted in an accident, incident or loss. Give 2 examples of immediate causes that could have contributed to a workplace accident: carelessness, lack of attention, guard missing of a machine. Give the meaning of the term underlying, root causes. Underlying or root cause is the failure of procedures and or management systems that resulted in the unsafe act or condition. Give 2 examples of root causes that could have contributed to a workplace accident. not checking on the proper completion of a maintenance task, not providing training, inappropriate level of supervision for the risk, inappropriate procedure. Give 4 reasons why the near-miss incident should be investigated. The incident should be investigated in the first instance to prevent a recurrence by identifying its causes and any weaknesses in the existing procedures and systems. It would also help to set priorities for any remedial action found to be necessary if, for instance, risk assessments and safe systems of work need to be amended. An investigation would additionally help to demonstrate management commitment to health and safety and assist in maintaining and even improving the health and safety culture of the organization and the morale of the workforce. Identify 6 possible root causes of the near-miss incident. Possible root causes include a failure to carry out an adequate risk assessment of the operation resulting in the absence of recognized procedures for carrying out maintenance work. No safe system of work for handling components. No system in place for advising other employees of the operation which was about to be carried out. Lack of signs and barriers erected to keep employees away from the area beneath the crane. The engineer's competence and training would have to be questioned together. The possibility that he/she was subjected to excessive work demands so that he/she did not have the time to take the necessary precautions in completing the job with, INCO. Calling into question the standard of supervision exercised by management. Other than root causes, outline what should be included in the near-miss incident report. In order to complete a near-miss incident report, information which should be collected includes details of the activity being carried out at the time with any history of previous similar incidents, the immediate causes of the incident with a description of the prevailing environmental conditions such as levels of lighting, drawings or photographs of the site of the incident with details of witnesses and copies of their statements, copies of relevant risk assessments and safe systems of work together with existing maintenance records, records of training received by the employees concerned, an indication of possible breaches of legislation, an estimation of the cost implications of the incident. Recommendations for the action to be taken to prevent a recurrence including a proposed timescale and the allocation of responsibility for completion of the work to a named individual or individuals. Give 4 reasons why the accident should be investigated. The reason these accidents should be investigated are numerous and they include examining the direct cause of the accidents and trying to establish the root cause of the accident to try to prevent future accidents by identifying and eliminating or reducing the causes. Accidents also give use valuable information in relation to hazards that may exist in the workplace that have not been identified by a proactive approach. To ensure compliance with legislation and accident reporting internally. To ensure training and information can be targeted in the areas of concern and management controls can be strengthened. Outline the information that should be included in the investigation report. An accident report should be comprehensive to enable the direct and indirect root causes to be identified. The report should ideally contain the events preceding the accident, the date and time of the accident, the precise location information on persons involved, a clear account of what was found at the accident scene with the possible direct causes, together with witness statements. Initial injuries of persons. If medical personnel are at the scene, their initial findings should be included. Other information can be included as required, e.g., weather conditions, road and ground conditions, etc. If root cause analysis has been carried out, this information should be included. Outline 4 possible immediate causes and 4 possible underlying root causes of the accident. 4 possible causes of immediate causes of the above accidents may be: slips on workplace surface on the level, employee not paying attention, no reversing alarm on the vehicle, forklift truck operator not be attentive and not looking around for pedestrians. The root causes for the above accidents could be: slips on the workplace level may have a root cause of oil being split and not cleaned up immediately. The root cause of a forklift truck could be attributed to the driver being not properly trained and inadequate training in reversing techniques. The root cause of the employee slipping may be that the housekeeping regime is inadequate and not monitored. The forklift truck may not be well maintained to check the reversing alarm is working. A machine operator is involved in an accident be coming into contact with a dangerous part of a machine. Describe the possible immediate causes and the possible underlying root causes. The possible immediate causes could be: inadequate or non-existent safety devices that allow access to the dangerous parts of equipment. Poor housekeeping resulting in slip and trip type incidents into the machinery. Loose clothing becoming entangled. Machine malfunction. Operator error and non-conformance with a safe system of work. The possible root underlying causes: inadequate training of the operator in the safe operation of the equipment. Inadequate information instruction supervision. Poor maintenance such as the non-replacement of guards following machine service. Inadequate risk assessment that did not consider all the significant risks. Personal factors: stress, fatigue, and the influence of drugs and alcohol. Poor management systems not properly allowing effective health and safety management of the workplace workforce. Ineffective supervision either in terms of competency or numbers, scope of control. Selection of personnel not being appropriate to the work expected. Selection of correct equipment not being suitable and sufficient for the purpose intended. Giving reasons in each case, identify 4 categories of persons who may be considered a useful member of an internal accident investigation team. Accident team members must be chosen for their knowledge, skill and experience in certain areas. 4 members who could be useful are: health and safety manager. The individual would bring the skills and knowledge of a health and safety professional and have in-depth knowledge of accident investigation. Supervisor. This individual would have first-hand knowledge of the worker's task and activities and the on-the-job hazards. Worker representative. This individual would bring the experience of the work and have information gained via interaction with colleagues on a range of issues in the workplace. Worker. A person who was involved in the accident may be able to make useful contributions to other members of the investigation team. Site engineer. This person would probably be the most senior to lead the investigation. The professional engineering background would bring a systematic methodology of examining any mechanical failures, etc. Technical expert. If the technical level of knowledge is not readily available, there may be a need to include such a person. Identify the items that might be included on a checklist to gather information following accidents involving slips, trips and falls. Suitable answers here would identify questions designed to elicit information on the personal details of the person involved, the time and location of the accident, the type and severity of the injury sustained, the task being undertaken at the time of the accident, the working environment as far as weather, standard of lighting and visibility were concerned, the condition of the floor or ground, the type and condition of any personal protective equipment that was being worn, whether there were any witnesses or CCTV footage of the accident, Details of the training and information received and details of any relevant risk assessments that had been carried out or any previous similar accidents that had occurred. Outline actions management may take to prevent similar accidents. In order to prevent similar accidents, management could take a range of actions such as carrying out a comprehensive investigation and communicating its findings to the workforce, reviewing the health and safety policy together with existing risk assessments and control measures, introducing a program of regular inspections and monitoring, a more effective standard of supervision and disciplinary action for non-conformance with set procedures, consulting on a regular basis with the workers and introducing a program of refresher training not only on the operation of plant and equipment but also on general health and safety awareness. Although the question clearly asks for an outline, some candidates provide just a list, and as such answers of this type would not be awarded maximum marks. Outline possible reasons why the inspection did not lead to an unsafe situation being corrected. There are a number of possible reasons why the inspection did not lead to the unsafe situation being corrected. It may have been that the unsafe activity was not taking place at the time of the inspection, or the hazard was not obvious and consequently the inspector would not have noticed it. The unsafe condition might have been observed but was not mentioned in the report of the inspection, and even if it had been included, the report might not have been seen by a responsible person or had not been followed up and the corrective action taken. There might have been a situation where the responsibility for taking the corrective action was unclear, for instance if there had been a number of different employers on site. A machine has leaked hot liquid into a work area. No one has been injured. Outline reasons why it is important for an organization to investigate near-miss incidents. Answers to this question need to outline that the investigation of near-miss incidents and the identification of their underlying causes might allow preventive action to be taken before something more serious occurs. It also gives the right message that all failures are taken seriously by the employer and not just those that lead to injury. Additionally, it is generally accepted that near misses far outnumber incidents resulting in injury and can therefore produce more data from which a greater understanding of the deficiencies in existing management systems such as risk assessments and safe systems of work can be identified and rectified. It would be good for delegates to briefly refer to Bird S or Hanrich S triangle. List 4 types of major injury which normally requires immediate reporting under national legislation. Fractures other than fingers, thumbs and toes. Amputation. Loss of sight, including temporary. Broken bones. Electrocution requiring resuscitation. Hospitalization overnight or for more than 24 hours. Injury that required resuscitation. Fatal injuries are a special case and do not come under the definition of major injury. Outline 8 factors that could prevent accidents from being reported at work by employees. Persons being ignorance of reporting procedures. Peer pressure placed on persons not to report. The fear of possible retribution by management. The preservation of the company's or department's safety record, particularly where incentive schemes are in place. Avoidance of first aid or medical treatment for fear of an individual being considered a risk. A worker wanting to keep on the right side of a supervisor or manager. Overcomplicated reporting procedures. Lack of management response to earlier reported accidents. Persons not being encouraged to report injuries. Blame culture. Prone to disciplinary action. Feeling of guilt. Identify the factors why accidents need to be reported. may be a legal requirement. Allow investigation to establish immediate, underlying and root causes. To prevent a recurrence following implementation of recommendations. A requirement of the management system. Accurate statistics to be maintained. Allows the identification of trends, thus introduction of preventative measures. To ensure appropriate contingencies into the future. Outline the immediate and long-term actions that should be taken after a serious workplace injury accident. Make sure the area is safe to enter to assist any injured person. Obtain assistance for the injured person and secure any damage. Call for external assistance. Assist with any external investigations, police, etc. Inform respective persons, management, HR, relatives, owner of assets, etc. Gather internal investigation team. Obtain facts, statements, photos, records, maintenance, training, risk assessments, permits and safe systems of work. Analyze information. Determine actions required. Generate reports with action plans, follow-up. Outline the immediate and longer-term actions that should be taken following an accident at work that has caused serious injury to a worker. The immediate and longer-term actions that should be taken following an accident at work that has caused serious injury to a worker can include isolating the scene of the accident and making the area safe, administering first aid treatment, contacting the emergency services, informing the next of kin, offering counseling and support, notifying the regulatory authority if appropriate and also the insurers, collecting initial evidence such as photographs and sketches and the names of witnesses, setting up the accident investigation team, investigating the accident, determining its root and underlying causes and preparing a report of the investigation. Making and implementing recommendations to prevent a recurrence of the accident and ensuring feedback is provided to the workforce. Outline the reasons why an organization should review and monitor its health and safety performance. The reasons for an organization reviewing and monitoring its health and safety performance are: to identify any substandard health and safety practices, to review trends and identify those that are adverse in a bid to remedy them, to compare actual performance against the established targets, to benchmark performance, to identify the use and effectiveness of control measures, to set priorities and establish realistic timescales, assess compliance with legal requirements, provide information to senior management, board members and/or health and safety committee, etc. Outline reasons why an organization should review its health and safety performance. These reasons should be written to include such areas as: to identify substandard health and safety practices and conditions, to identify trends in relation to different types of incident or incidents in general by analysis of relevant incident data, to compare actual performance with previously set targets, to benchmark the organization's performance against that of similar organizations or an industry norm, to identify whether control measures are in use, to assess their effectiveness, to be able to make decisions on appropriate remedial measures for any deficiencies identified, to identify any new or changed risks, to assess compliance with legal requirements and accepted national international standards, to be able to provide a board of directors or safety committee with relevant information, to boost morale and motivate the workforce, and ultimately because monitoring and review is a vital component of any safety management system and is essential if the system is externally accredited and audited by a specific body. Thanks for watching. For important questions and answers, and to learn about the remaining elements of NEBOSH IGC, please subscribe and follow my channel.
This is all about today's topic. Thanks for watching Phani EHS Info. And don't forget to subscribe our channel to get immediate notification of our videos. Share our videos to your friends and colleagues to create safety awareness. If you have any questions and requirements, please comment in comment box. And please visit our website www.phaniehsinfo.com for notes of our videos. Have a safe day.